Start to tune into how the body is feeling as you sit nice and tall wherever you are. Roll the shoulders back. Then roll the shoulders forward. Then one more time up and down the back, really pressing your shoulders away from the ears. And feel like there's someone just pulling your shoulders back. So there's a bit of expansion in the chest, in the heart area, really allowing yourself to receive. At times, this can feel very uncomfortable, almost very vulnerable. But when we make changes in the body, kind of clicks in the mind as well. So allow yourself to take up space, allow yourself to be open, allow yourself to be expansive, physically expansive, to really call in more mental expansiveness. And start to notice the quality of your breath. I'm just starting to forget everything that came before and everything that will come after this session. This next hour is just for you. So just by showing up, whether it's live or on the replay, you've already done so much. This is the hardest part, just showing up. And start to notice if your breath feels a bit short or kind of stuck in the chest, or if you're able to drop it down into the belly. The breath is a powerful tool to allow us to feel more safe, to allow us to feel relaxed. All we have to do is come back to the breath. It's easy, it's free. We take it for granted. This is why I always incorporate a bit of breath exercise to all my meditations. Breath exercises and breath awareness. And with that, I invite you to empty the breath out. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Nice audible exhale out through the mouth. Deep breath in through the nose. Audible exhale out through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose, holding at the top. Audible exhale out through the mouth. Begin to breathe in and out through the nose. And allow yourself to really lengthen the breath, deepen the breath here. Feel a deep sense of ease wash over you. And you'll start to notice as you slow the breath down, the mind and the body follow. Feel yourself sink into the sit bones, into the moment. Allow yourself to arrive. And through the sit bones, through the feet, there are roots growing down into the earth, providing beautiful grounding energy. Allowing yourself to feel more relaxed and more peaceful. And place the left hand at the center of the chest, right hand on top of left. Just tap into gratitude once more. By attending this session, you are doing something for yourself. To reconnect with the body, to reconnect with your truth, to remind yourself of your why, or to kind of be on your path to discovering that why. Now I invite you to set an intention for today's session. May it inspire the next hour and maybe well into the month as well. My intention for you is to be curious, to be open, to feel playful, and to have fun. Allow the insights that are meant to come through in this moment. Allow them to be so clear in the mind that you cannot ignore them. Know that everything is happening for your highest good. You're on the right path. And everything is unfolding as it should. Empty the breath out. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Audible exhale out through the mouth. Just come back to your natural breathing. Notice how you feel now that we've taken a few moments to use the breath to connect to the body, to arrive into the present moment, to shift our focus, and to align ourselves to the purpose of understanding our truth. Empty the breath out. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Audible exhale out through the mouth. And place your palms together and start to rub them, creating some heat, creating some friction. And then place your palms over your face. Feel that warmth radiate towards you. And as you're ready, gently open your eyes, coming back to the present moment and the present space. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that was relaxing. Already feeling some things coming through, perhaps. So know that your notebook is always available to you if you want to take some notes. And now we are going to reflect on the past month. I want you to think about what May was like for you. So May had a lot of wild energy, wild in terms of we were finishing up eclipse season, and eclipse season brings us what we need, not always what we want. So there's a lot of frenetic energy, ending of cycles around your ability to receive, your money mindset, empowerment, power, how you show up, and how you feel safe and secure. And all of these things have a lot to do with jobs. And so I invite you to kind of think about what happened this last month. And if you attended the session before, looking back on your notes, the intention you set for yourself, the word you chose for yourself, and reflecting on that. And we'll take about 5 minutes or so. So, as you wrap up your reflection, I want you to also think about one word to describe last month. We have about another minute. I extended the time. I felt like we needed like a little more than 5 minutes. And if you're done, you want to share something, feel free to pop into the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself, you can do so as well. Know that this is recorded, so if you feel like, oh, I don't feel comfortable, you can put it into the chat, or there will be a time at the end of this session where I'll stop the recording and you can just ask questions freely. I think that's always like a nice option to have. All right, just finishing your thought. And I would love to know, for those who would like to share your word for last month, how you felt, anything that came up for you, anything that was surprising or even frustrating. I'd love to know if you want to share it in the chat. For myself, I really developed a deep sense of trust, and there weren't times that weren't, there were definitely times that were challenging. It wasn't easy, but really developing lots of trust and belief in myself and my abilities. And it's ultimately always an opportunity to move forward in my relationship with intuition, something that I have been building. It's constantly growing. And growth is non-linear. Healing is non-linear. And for me, I've definitely been like, oh, I trust it. And then I'm like, oh, I don't. But last month, I really felt like I leaned into trust and my intuition. So someone saying May was challenging, another person saying my word for May, expansive. It was really full of so much learning and confirmation too. I love that. Someone else is sharing my word for May, ending. I got laid off at the end of the month and there was a long lead up to it. It was just like finally like a big release, almost kind of like at the tail end of eclipse season. It was like, okay, this, you need to be done with this. This is a close of a chapter. And honestly, next month in July, we'll have like the full changeover for the nodes, which is about destiny and purpose. And so, you know, you may be feeling May and June to be intense because any chapters and relationships that need to end, that need to close, are going to be happening during this time as well, as we step into this new cycle for the next 3 years officially. Another word for May, packed. I signed up a lot of activities last month, so very social, getting ready for Gemini season. And someone else said hope, taking steps toward forward with the fear anyways. Yes, that is so powerful because when we feel fear, there can be a bit of like a paralysis, but we can do things when we are scared. We can still take action. Like there's that one saying, right? Like even if you're scared, like do it anyway, because at least you'll know that you weren't operating fully in fear, but you're kind of like, okay, I see it, I feel it, but I'm going to ignore it. Because I also like to say, and some of you have heard me say this many times, that fear and excitement are two sides of the same coin. Fear and excitement are two sides of the same coin. So every time you feel fearful or you're scared or you're anxious, think about, okay, if if this feeling is actually excitement, what am I excited about? I'm excited about the unknown. I'm excited about like, oh, trying something that I've never done before, or given the opportunity to manage a project, lead a team, or whatever it may be. And it's kind of like out of my wheelhouse. I don't know if I can do this. So kind of shifting that energy from fear to excitement is going to be very powerful. Exciterus is what my team and I called it. I love that. That's a nice turn. A little bit of a tongue twister. Exciterus. But I love it. That's really, really fun. Okay. Thank you everyone for sharing. So now we'll do the energy reset portion. And I feel like today we really need breath work. I feel like I did breath work last time as well, but I'm going to incorporate something else as well. So um, I want everybody to find a comfortable place to lie down. It could be your couch, it could be the floor, a bed. Give yourself a few moments to find a comfortable spot. And I'm going to get some other things. Give me a moment. All right. So before we get started, I want to do a quick sound check. Let me know if this sounds good. Wonderful. Okay. So we are going to be doing a breathwork exercise. It's a little bit different from what we usually do. We're going to be practicing some box breathing and also incorporating a mini sound bath. I'm also a sound healer for those who may not know that. I really love using sound healing to relax the nervous system, providing some more calming energy. So, I know this new microphone is great, right? I want you to settle down wherever you are laying down. You can do this sitting up as well, but I mean, why do that if you can lie down? And feel the body melt down. Melt down into the bed, into the mat, into the couch, and give yourself a few moments to arrive. This is an opportunity to relax and to rest and to know that it is a powerful way to get the answers that you need. Oftentimes, we do not prioritize rest, but rest, in fact, is what we all desperately need to move forward, to get those answers, to receive clarity, and to get rid of some of that stagnant energy that we do not desire. So as you come back to the breath, notice how the air feels around you. Notice how the clothes sit on your skin. And we'll start with 3 cleansing breaths. As you empty the breath out, take a deep breath in through the nose. Audible exhale out through the mouth. Take a deep breath in through the nose and an audible exhale out through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose, holding at the top. And a nice audible exhale out through the mouth. Seal the lips and start to breathe in and out through the nose. And notice if you need some more time to downshift, to relax. And for today's breathwork exercise, we will do box breathing. And what it is you'll breathe in for 4, hold at the top for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold at the bottom for 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Come back to your natural breathing now. And just notice how this first exercise felt. Allow your mind to empty. Allow your body to relax. And now I invite you to do some holotropic breathing. And if you haven't done that before, you will use your mouth to breathe. So in through the belly, in through the heart, and out through the mouth. So it sounds like all the breath is done through the mouth. And I invite you to breathe in deeply. And start to notice any sensations in the body, any feelings that come up. Move at your own pace. In through the belly, in through the heart, and out through the mouth. Start to feel any tightness, any stagnant energy being released from your body as you breathe in through the belly, in through the heart, and out through the mouth. Allow yourself to breathe in deeply. See if you can slow the breath down. In through the belly, in through the heart, and out through the mouth. Start to notice any resistance that is coming up, any expectation, and release all of that. Allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to experience what you're meant to experience in this moment. Keep going, keep going. If you need to rest, I invite you to do so. In through the belly, in through the heart, and out through the mouth. And notice any sensations coming into the body. Breathing in and out through the mouth. Just a couple more cycles of breath. You are doing so good, doing so well. And just doing this one more round of breath. In through the belly, in through the heart, and out through the mouth. And start to breathe in and out through the nose, coming back to your natural breathing. And just allow yourself to relax. As you listen to the sound of this bowl made from quartz and charcoal. It has purifying qualities. Allowing yourself to release anything that doesn't serve you. Allow yourself to really embrace anything that is coming up. Any feelings, any thoughts, physical sensations in the body. Instead of pushing it away, embrace it. Allow the sound coming from this bowl to help you facilitate this process. As you come back to the body, back to your natural breathing. Feeling this sound, this frequency resonate in your body. It's like the sound is reaching every cell of your being, allowing you to renew, to be rebirthed. enjoying a few moments of stillness, allowing yourself to receive any insights that are coming through as you listen to the natural rhythm of your inhales and your exhales. Slowly, gently bring some attention back into the body by wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers. On your next inhale, raise your arms up and overhead for a nice full body stretch. And slowly bring your knees to your chest, give yourself a nice hug, or just move in a way that allows you to come back to a comfortable seated position. Sitting nice and tall, just taking another moment of gratitude here. Tap into heart energy. Tap into the space of limitless possibility and opportunity, a feeling of expansion and spaciousness, knowing that everything is available to you and you are capable of anything, that you are worthy, seen, loved, and respected. Place the left hand at the center of the chest, right hand on top of left. Feel the rise and fall of your body with each breath in and each breath out. And as you're ready, gently open your eyes, coming back to the present moment and the present space. And as you take your time to come back to the digital room, I invite you to grab your notebook again and just write down what happened. What did you feel? What came up? There is no wrong way to do breath work, breath exercises, a sound bath, and everything, anything that you feel or experience is completely normal. So just take some time to reflect. And if you finish earlier, just let me know in the chat. You can also share how you felt during that session. I combined a lot of different things. I really just allow inspiration to find me in the moment. I'm a pretty structured person and I like to follow a plan, but really one of my big life lessons is just like listening to my intuition, see what comes through. And so today I felt like we needed a couple different breathwork exercises and specifically the charcoal bowl to kind of clear some of that energy. So multiple modalities, multiple methods to release. For me, I think one of the words that I felt, this is one of the rare sessions. I lead lots of different types of workshops. I don't always get to do them. And also I know things. And so it's kind of like, oh, I'm just talking to myself during these workshops. But with this workshop, because we have so many exercises, I do it with you for the timing, but also it's really great for me to reflect as well. And the word that came up was clarity. I received a lot of clarity around like what I really need to do to really be honest with myself, like not being hard on myself, but to be like, hey, if this is what you want, these are the steps you really have to take to move forward. So a bit of like radical honesty meets radical compassion as well, knowing that I'm doing the best that I can, but also like make sure that you're taking aligned action, things that match your values, and reducing self sabotage that happens from time to time. And a lot of that self sabotage is very subtle, it happens in the mind. So that's kind of what came up for me during the session. And if you feel comfortable, I would love to know what came up for you. I felt the second round of breathwork really intensely. I actually received a message about paying down debt. Yes. I feel like so many of us have an interesting relationship around money, around debt. I know that I have a story around debt that I really needed to change. And it's something that my mom taught me, something that came from childhood, that like debt is really, really bad. And it took me up until 34 years old to really recognize that sometimes there is healthy debt. We don't talk about mortgages, those are debts, or student loans, those are debts as well. But for some reason, those are considered, oh, like, okay, like, oh, yes, I have these things to pay off. But what about when you're going through a transition and you're using a credit card, a 0% APR card to pay for your living expenses, or to go on a course, or to just really take that, that trip, that yoga retreat that you feel like is really going to change your life? It's these are the types of debt that are good. And I think oftentimes, the stories we hear in the media is like, oh, like people are just spending too much. They're buying bags, they're going out to eat, they're living beyond their means. But there is also something to be recognized of like, oh, how do you use debt in a way that allows you to grow, allows you to expand? Because when wealthy people talk about debt, it's not really debt, it's called leverage. They never use their own money to buy things. So that's an important thing to consider and to think about. Okay, so does anyone else want to share? If anyone else doesn't want to share, I will share the astrology for the month ahead. Okay, continue to put things into the chat. Oh, I've been working around the idea of money as energy lately. Yes, if it feels expansive or it feels constrictive, like I can talk about these things all the time, but one day it'll just kind of click with you. You're like, I think I know what I need to do. And honestly, we're finishing up a lot of cycles. Last month was a lot of cycles ending around like money mindset, around power, about strength, of how we spend money, how we receive money, how we earn money, all these different themes that we've been working with for the last 2.5 years, kind of a bit of like an end to them last month, or kind of like that, like the closing part of it. So if that's something you've been feeling, normal and all in line with the astrological forecast. Okay. Okay, so put this down in a note just because it can be a lot. to take in. Usually I just like talk. Sometimes I'll put up a slide if it's like really intense. But today I was like, oh, I'll put it into a notes. So we are currently in Gemini season, and Gemini season is very, very flirty, very open, very chatty, very, very chatty. Gemini is a sign that likes to share things, share its ideas. And during this season, to kind of make the most of all that is kind of like happening, is to understand how you communicate with others. During this time, you might feel very social, right? Wanting to go out, to do things, to connect with new types of people, to network. But during this time, you may also find yourself feeling inspired to start a podcast, a newsletter, really amp up your social media presence. If you are exploring a side hustle, a business, or just wanting to kind of connect with people more through social media. And so with Gemini season, one of the things to remember is to not overextend yourself and to practice grounding as well. Gemini is an air sign, and air signs are very cerebral. They are always up here. And as human beings living in the modern world, we spend a lot of time here. Not a lot of time in our bodies, lots of times in our minds, thinking and thinking and thinking. And to kind of balance this energy, overthinking, anxiety, ruminating, is to spend some time grounding. And with grounding, that means going for a walk outside. I really like to take showers at the end of the day to kind of clear energy of all the things that I've done, the people that I've seen, getting new plants. It's spring. Well, it's almost summer, but here on the West Coast, like honestly, it felt like spring just started. We've had so much rain and cloudiness. To kind of like add soil to your plants, tend to your garden, maybe like get some flowers from the flower market or your local grocery store, do some flower arranging, anything that helps you to do with your hands and involving the material world. And when it involves plants, it's even better. Obviously, moving your body is very powerful as well to kind of release some of that stuckness, because when we're feeling when we're not able to process emotions, they get stuck in the body. So when you're feeling stressed, I know like for myself, like I hold it all in my shoulders and my neck, it gets so tense, like my temples, like when I massage them, like, oh, this like feels so good. So thinking about new ways or old ways and adding a bit of newness to them of like, what feels good to you in terms of body movement, as well as what does it mean to spend time outside? Because you could be like, Alice, I hate being outside. I don't like the bugs. I don't like the humidity. I live in a humid place, or I live in a very cold place, whatever it may be. And so those are some other options, kind of tending to plants. You could be doing drawing, painting, kind of just like reconnecting like with your body. Okay. So another thing to consider during this month is Saturn retrograde. Saturn is the planet of responsibility, maturity, and very much so as the ruler of Capricorn around career. And Saturn retrograde happens every year. It happens like every summer, basically. And we'll experience this for the next few months. And we're all familiar with Mercury retrograde and almost to the point where like scared of it. But a retrograde just means a time to reflect and pause. And it's a time for introspection. And for the next few months, it will be a really good opportunity, as well as these other transits and things that are happening that I'll share, to reflect on your purpose, reflect on what you really like to be known for. And think about if you're just doing something because it's the right thing to do, what's expected of you. And know that all these things are just made up in your mind. It could be from society, friends, family that are just really, really outdated. So Saturn retrograde allows for the opportunity to rethink about, are you working hard for the right things, right? Are you working for external approval or from joy and service from the inside out? And it is also an opportunity to reevaluate and kind of understand your values. When you understand your personal values, you can start to understand what your job, what your career, your business will also need to be so that it reflects and or mirrors your personal values. Anytime we feel a disconnect to our job, it is most likely because it is not following your values, right? One of your values is freedom, and you have a job that has a boss who is a micromanager. These are inherently things that are in opposition of one another. But so often, like, we feel like, oh, it has to be this way, or oh, like, well, this is what I value, but work is separate. I invite you to think of it as not separate, but it is housed within you. You are the same person going to work as like being at home, being with your friends and your family. So really be honest with yourself. It can be really uncomfortable to kind of think of these things, but know that it'll be done for you these next few months. The things and the experiences, the challenges, the opportunities that are coming your way will allow you to kind of understand what I've shared, all the things that I've shared around career, around responsibility, maturity, purpose, and if your job, if your business is really value aligned to yourself. And this month is actually very powerful to do that because we have 2 points where at the start of the month that's already happened and midway through the month that allows us to really activate our purpose and what we're meant to be doing in this lifetime. So June 1st, last Thursday, Jupiter was conjunct the North Node. It's very much so an activation of destiny, and we're still kind of in this energy. So you may have felt like, oh, I really feel like I need to know more about what I want to be doing, or I'm ready to kind of explore this area that I've been very, very interested in. And for those who are just like, oh, like, I don't really understand, I don't know my like North Node placement, Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of learning, of possibilities, and of blessings. North Node is about your purpose, it's your destiny, life lessons. And to know your North Node placement is going to be important for this first astrological event that happened a couple days ago. So if you don't know it, go get your free career astrology report. Some of you have ordered or have already received your paid astrology report, and that has a lot of information about your North Node. So read that section around the things that you are meant to be learning in this lifetime. Know that if your North Node is in Sagittarius, you will be drawn to kind of explore the characteristics of Sagittarius. If your North Node is in Leo, you will be exploring those things around creativity, around empowerment, about showing up for yourself. And for the example I had before about Sagittarius, about belief systems, and be lots of writing involved and curiosity around like, oh, should I write a book? Should I start a newsletter? Something around that. And we also had a full moon in Sagittarius yesterday. So actually less than 24 hours before. And with all new and full moons, this energy is still swirling around for a couple of days after it happens. And with this full moon in Sagittarius, it's really about a release around belief systems, way of living and thinking, and dogma that's just releasing that doesn't serve you. So kind of reflect upon what are some things that have maybe been coming up for you the last 2 weeks, the last 6 months around how you live, how you think, what you believe. Sagittarius is really that sign that deals with higher level thinking, higher education, around philosophy, around religion. It's also a very fun-loving sign. I feel I like to describe Sagittarius as the person that brings the fun to the party, but also talking about very serious things at the party as well. There's like a bit of duality there. So exploring those themes, and specifically for you, depending on where Sagittarius shows up in your chart, this is where you're celebrating manifestations. Full moons, like we talk a lot about release, but it's also a big celebration of all the things that you've been creating the last 2 weeks, as well as the last 6 months. The last 6 months is when the new moon was in Sagittarius. And if you journal with the cycles of the moon, new moons are a time to plant new seeds for new intentions. And even if you didn't do that 6 months ago, I invite you to think about, What was I thinking at the end of December and like early January? Because that was like 6 months ago. I know we're like halfway through the year. And to start really thinking about, okay, what did I desire for myself for this year? Um, like Sagittarius is also signed up like travel and writing. And so maybe you had some goals around traveling and also learning, expansiveness. Where did you want to feel more spaciousness and just more freedom? Sagittarius really care about freedom as well. You may have wanted more freedom, like in the mind, in your career. And so just taking a few moments to kind of reflect, okay, what was I thinking about? And also, I feel like some of those things must have come through during our exercise as well. We don't always get a new moon or a full moon around this session. So this one was extra special. And then on June 18th, we'll have a new moon in Gemini. And this is an opportunity for you to set intentions around how you communicate and how you influence within your community. Doesn't mean you have to be an influencer. It means like, who are you within your group of friends? What would you like to be known for? What do you like? What would you like to share? And who are the people that you would like to connect with? What are the social things that you want to be involved in? It's a good opportunity for you to set intentions around what would you like to manifest in 6 months' time around the themes of Gemini. And again, if you look at your birth chart, you can see if you have any notable placements in Gemini, which houses you have that are ruled by Gemini, so they can better understand what new beginning you need in Gemini. And the last thing that I'd like to share is on June 19th, so right after the new moon, we'll have Jupiter sextile Saturn. This is another opportunity for growth, kind of a very similar energy to what we experienced on June 1st. But this time it is, I believe something will happen in terms of all the hard work that you've put in. And it's just such a strong opportunity for growth, but also it requires you to take action as well with this type of aspect. So around this time, specifically on this day, June 19th, it will be a very good day to start a new project, to apply to a new job. You might find yourself with a new job, with a new business, with a new side hustle. So start to kind of explore, especially what sign your Saturn is in. Kind of explore those characteristics. So if your Saturn is in Leo, that means you explore around the themes of creativity, of pleasure, of joy, healing the inner child, and being a performer, being a creative. And so it's a wonderful time to start some new creative pursuits. And I will also share this list in the follow-up email as well as this recording. So you can always come back and listen as well as ask any questions. Questions? No questions? I know that's a lot of information, especially like, wait, I don't know that much about my own birth chart. Grab your free career astrology report on yoursaturn.com. Make sure you have all those listings, not listings, the placements, and kind of take a look so that you can get a little bit more clarity around your Jupiter placement, your Saturn placement, your North Node placement, as well as where Gemini shows up in your chart, because we are in Gemini season. So that area in your chart, that house is going to be extra emphasized. Okay, so now you have a bunch of information, and we will take the next 10 minutes to set intentions for the month ahead. And intentions are really the feeling, the energy behind what you'd like to accomplish. They're different from goals. You can have an intention for your goal. So I like to describe intention of like, sometimes you know what the intention is. Other times it's a bit more subconscious. So the two examples that I have are when you are trying to, let's say, make something for a party. You're like, okay, I'm going to a friend's place. I promised I'd make brownies, but I'm so busy. But I really want to make something homemade. This group of friends, like they always make homemade things, as an example. It's made up example. And you're like, okay, I'm making this, but I also have to do this and that. And by accident, you put in baking powder versus baking soda, or I don't know, whichever one that you're not supposed to put in, you accidentally put in it because your intention, whether you knew it or not, was like, okay, I'm really busy, so I'm going to do this like in a hurried way. But if you had the intention of, oh, I've never made brownies before, or I'm really busy, but let me just pay attention to this task at hand for the next hour and let me have fun. Let me really enjoy this process. It's going to turn out really well. Things don't turn out well when you're feeling like rushed. That's like when you're trying to like make an appointment, when you're like making a presentation and you're like, oh, like I'm so stressed. Like, when you don't feel centered, when your energy is all over the place, that really shows. And so intentions are powerful ways for you to direct the energy so that you have a better understanding of like, okay, in June, my intention could be to find more balance, to be more open, to be more curious, to be more compassionate to myself. And then, of course, you can kind of elaborate, like kind of write down some actions you'd like, because I'm always very action oriented, very practical. So writing down what you'd like to do, how you'd like to feel, how you'd like to show up. And again, putting in that one word to describe how you'd like to feel in June. So let's get started. So I have about a minute or so to finish up our intention for June. And if you've already finished, I would love to know the word that you would like to embody for the month ahead. Okay, I see some words and phrases coming in. Mine was balance and peace. I've been feeling a lot of anxiety lately. I have so much to do, not sleeping enough. So those are two words that I've chosen for myself. I see reflection, let things go, curiosity, ease. Ah, I love all of those things. Harmonious, beautiful, beautiful. So I know we've gone a little bit over, but if you have some time to stay, I would love to know how you felt at the start of the session and how you felt at the end of the session. So I can also answer some questions here as well. For those who are listening to the replay, you can email me questions, and I hope that this was relaxing and helpful for you.